up. Yeah, I'm listening. And today, as I was talking to Jane Elizabeth, I said, you know, a lot of things go on my mind. A lot going on right now to talk about, right? Black Lives Matter. And animals matter. But right now we're talking about Black Lives Matter. And I was thinking, do I want to get on and take the focus away from? But I think it was more important because the focus is, I guess, connected, right? And the reason, and I'm gonna start this way out before I get going, so I could at least get my point. Think about this: when people are disrespectful or feel above other things, that brings us into the situation we're in now. The situation we're in now, with certain people feeling because of their color or because of where they were born, they are in a position of superior life on this planet. And so when they talk about systemic racism and elitism, that's just the mentality, it's a thought process. I think everybody needs to do DMT or ayahuasca. We'll get into that another time. But what it does is it lets you realize that this thing that we're holding on to, that we shower, that we put lotion on, and perfume, this is an avatar. This is a car. The spirit inside, if that's what you want to call it, inside is what controls this avatar. So the deal is, to get rid of racism, we got to get rid of the spirit of racism. We got to get rid of that feeling that your avatar is different from my avatar because of the color of it. Yeah, they are different. We are different. We're different because our DNA makes us different from living in fear. Okay. With that being said, you can see me on Carissa right there on Jane Unchained. Carissa hit me from Be Vegan and said, come on my show, let's talk about it. And I thought back and forth, but I think I'll go on. So that'll be Wednesday. I'll be back on Jane Unchained. So this is the deal. I've been thinking, this is a shirt, if you guys can see it. It's a brain on a broccoli stem. My partner, Roland, put it together. It's called the Vegan State of Mind. And what that does is, it literally the mentality of being a vegan. We're starting to run into this, and Roland is my partner in the new restaurant or new subdivision or strip mall we're putting together called Planet Health Compton. That's 546 West Compton. When we open, you all will be invited. We target the vegan community, and I'm going to get into that. We're also opening a place in San Bernardino with two other partners that have changed their diet and got into the plant-based world. And best thing that I've ever done, that's called Cafe O. It's off the 10 freeway, right off of Waterman, which is another spot that should be open pretty soon, that I'm doing a lot of activism out of our positions. Meeting place, a watering hole, an image, the whole mentality. And we're bringing these two different places into food deserts. What happened is I went around and I wanted to partner with this guy in a restaurant. I wanted to partner with these guys with a food truck. I wanted to go to all these different places. And then I came down here. I'm in Atlanta right now. I came down to Atlanta and I went to Plant-Based Pizzeria. And I tried to partner up with Paul. And Paul was looking at me crazy, like, you want to partner up with me? And I got his message. Open your own. So I'm opening up a pizzeria, a burger joint, a fried chicken joint, with House of Chicken. I am literally putting not just my money, but my effort and my energy. The reason I said we had to change the way things are in 2020, the vegan mentality, is yes, there's levels to veganism. There are unhealthy vegans. There are vegans who eat vegetables. There are unhealthy looking vegans. There are literally people who raw foodists that feel the vegan shouldn't be at a point. Now, this is where I connected to my upbringing as a Black man in this country. Everything has steps. In my health coaching, we talk about not baby steps, but small hinges open big doors. So there has to be steps to get into this point where you can just eat vegetables, fruit, drink water, and sit in the sun. It has to be a point to that, because people who have been eating flesh are really drug addicts because of all the drugs they put into the animals, because of all the sugar in the seasoning and in the sauces they put on top of it. And because of tradition, you have to break or help people break down their addictions to slaughtered animals, their addictions to sugar, their addiction to traditions. You have to break all of those down. So our thought of veganism should change a little bit. We have to realize what we're doing. We did the whole thing with a pescatarian, flesh eater, vegetarian, vegan, plant-based. I mean, there's been more words to describe people who don't want any animals than y'all describe Black folks, from Negro to colored to Black to African-American to Afro-American. There's so much. Everyone's trying to find these names. Let's make it simple. The reason I'm a vegan, it started off for health reasons, because somebody told me it was a better way to eat. The reason I'm a vegan now is I don't believe in slavery of any species. And I believe, and it took me a second because I didn't understand this, which is another thing we have to understand. A lot of people, you think, well, you heard it and you heard it. We hear everything. We hear tons of things. But now our compassion has to be different. Ingrid, my road dog, and no matter what, and rattling those fences. When I first heard Jane on HLN, rattling faces, I was like, she's gonna lose her job. I literally said that. She's gonna lose her job talking like this. And that made me realize that if you stand for something, or you fall for anything. And that made me go into an idea that I need to be the vegan guy wherever we go. I need to be the vegan guy wherever I go. Just like, you know, when people become Christian and then they become born again Christians, and sometimes you don't want to stand around them because all of the spirits coming. That's exactly what the new wave has to be. The new wave has to be, we can't pick sides. We can't talk down to the next one. We can't say, oh, they're talking unhealthy veganism. We can't, because the mentality is to stop the murder and slaughter of land and fish animals. So we have to up our game. With this pandemic happening, with this Black Lives Matter situation, we have to now stop, look at everything we've done, and figure out how to do it better and different. This is 2020 BC. This is after, before Corona, well, 2019 is before Corona. This is AC. We have to start moving in a different direction. And in the direction I think, which really helps us, is if we start taking care of our own. What that means. I got a t-shirt over there, I was gonna wear it. It said, Woke Vegan, Long Beach Vegan Festival. I love going to festivals. I hope everyone loves going to them. I think our message needs to upgrade. We need to upgrade our message, and we need to start talking directly to ourselves. What I mean is, we need to start focusing on helping each other become the best we can possibly be. We watched Michael Jordan in The Last Dance. His teammates, the ones that thought he was too intense. If he wasn't so intense, he wouldn't have been Michael Jordan. So we need to enhance and pat each other on the back, support each other. When we talked about restaurants going out, one of my favorite is Crimsey's up in North Hollywood in Los Angeles. She had to close her doors. We need to, like Jane said, find a way to get everybody to go and support the restaurants that are vegan. Not they have a few items over here. We have to make the change. This is what I mean. You either with us or you're not with us. You can't be, the Bible even says, you have to be hot or cold. You can't be lukewarm. You have to jump into this. You don't have to hit anybody in the head or scream, but support those that do. At one time I used to think, man, they just yelling at the rooftops. Yell at the rooftops. So in this new time, I want everybody to think about supporting veganism, finding out how to support veganism, think in a different way, and think about it this way. We can take over the world. Then the world will be a better place. Fingers.
Thank you. Thank you so much, John. I totally agree with everything you said about 2020 and about the food slavery and how that pays into not only being a person of color, but also a person just of this earth, a new human, if you will. So thank you again so much for your wise words and wisdom. Next, we're going to move on to some more music. Here is a song called Better You from Jim Marcotte. Jim is a Seattle-based musician, a vegan and animal activist who writes songs that reflect on his own climate change, captivity, and veganism. This song he is performing today was co-written by his life partner, Tracy Wilson, who contributed to the lyrics as well. Time for a song from Jim Marcotte.
Thank you. It's time to think of others, less fortunate than you. Out of crisis comes wisdom and a searching for the truth. Will you run or will you hide? Will you go right back to what you've always done? Or will you grow? Will you shine? Will you use this time you've gone through to be better? To be better. A better you. A better you. What difference can we all make? Or what's the one thing we can do? Or what big step can we all take to make our world brand new? We're eating food for health, food that doesn't cause a life to end forever. Yeah, make that change, it feels good. Food that raises world vibrations for the better. For the better.
Thank you so much, Jim. Thank you for that wonderful jam, those words that we all need to hear, and I think that we can all agree with. Next, coming up, we have Naomi Hallum, who is the managing director of Million Dollar Vegan, which I'm sure you all have heard of before. Million Dollar Vegan is an organization founded to raise awareness on how our dietary choices affect wild and farmed animals, the environment, and human health. Million Dollar Vegan is also one of the sponsors of NARD. She will be talking about all of the reasons to be vegan, and you can best believe there are millions of reasons. So let's hear from Naomi Hallum.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for having me. At times like this, when our society is hurting from hatred, when billions of animals are suffering and being treated like expendable commodities, and when planet Earth's rainforests and resources are being plundered with impunity, it can be difficult to remain hopeful, to move forward. But what if, through finding ourselves and our society at rock bottom, we are able to learn valuable lessons? What if, through the lessons learned by the wildfires in Australia and Brazil, through this coronavirus pandemic, and through our bloodstained battles for racial justice, we are able to rise? In a world presently devastated by an avoidable pandemic, our society is now forced to re-examine its relationship with animals and the natural world. In a way, it's as if Mother Earth knew what she needed to do to get our attention. Now that the world's attention has been captured, it's time to turn it to the farmed animals. There is a lesson that we as a species have previously failed to learn despite hundreds of years of powerful warnings. Tuberculosis, measles, whooping cough, typhoid, leprosy, Ebola, SARS, MERS, COVID-19, and the common cold all have one thing in common. They jumped from animals to people when we started domesticating, farming, and exploiting animals. It must be understood that while the coronavirus may fade away, the risk of pandemics does not. For as long as we confine and abuse animals, we will all be at risk. And what we are at risk of is likely to be an even more deadly influenza virus hatched in the hellhole factory farms that we as a movement have been fighting to abolish. And we must keep fighting. We must keep fighting until we win. In the last 100 years, flu pandemics have spread across the world, killing up to 100 million people and devastating the lives of countless others. To prevent another pandemic, we must motivate non-vegans to change their relationship with animals. And now we have a wide open opportunity to show the world that that begins by taking them off our plates. This opportunity is the silver lining for humanity and hopefully for farmed animals too. Animal agriculture drives deforestation, displacing wildlife and exposing us to the pathogens they house. Killing animals is literally killing us too, and it simply has to stop. It's time for us to make it stop, to recognize the commonalities we share with non-vegans, or future vegans as I like to call them, and to unite with them in a shared goal to protect the vulnerable, to protect the home we share, and to protect our loved ones from another deadly virus. They don't yet know that they can successfully do all of those things by going vegan, but that's where we come in. Knowledge is power. And when we know how to turn crises into lessons and how to share those lessons with others in a relatable and encouraging way, then we can empower them to make better, smarter, more conscious and compassionate choices. It's easy for me to sit here and say what we must do, but I do know it's not easy to teach people who have spent a lifetime being taught the wrong thing, being taught that the lives of farmed animals mean nothing, that meat and dairy are good for us, essential even, that as individuals we are powerless to affect change, and that vegans just need to get off their high horse and eat a burger. But remember that facts and science are on our side. The lives of farmed animals do matter. Plant-based diets are healthier. As consumers, we have an immense power to affect change. And in going vegan, we are utilizing the best tool in our toolbox for fighting climate change, ocean pollution, deforestation, species extinction, and an unfathomable amount of unnecessary suffering. And what else do we have on our side? History. If history has taught us anything, it's that injustice has an expiration date. From the Me Too movement to Black Lives Matter, we have witnessed the incredible power of working together in the fight against injustice. I urge everyone watching today, individuals and organizations alike, to come together in this fight for animal rights that we have to win, and that we will win together. We all need something to hope for during these turbulent times, but united, we can do more than hope for a better future for animals. On the foundation of this pivotal year, we can build one. Thank you, fellow activists. Thank you for all you do.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Naomi. So much wisdom that you have to share with all of us. Thank you again so much. Next, we have Leilani Münter. She is an environmental activist, race car driver, and documentary filmmaker. She is here to tell us about her vegan racing and how she is doing vegan outreach in the racing world. Let's go to Leilani.
Hi, everyone. It's so great to be with all of you today. And I'm going to start out by actually showing you a video of how I used my race car. I've since retired from racing last year, but we used my race car to introduce the NASCAR community to vegan food. And so here's a video from Daytona. My name is Leilani Münter, and I am a vegan race car driver and an activist. I'm here in the Vegan Strong tent. We're talking about the vegan lifestyle here at Daytona.
Daytona!
We've got a couple of bodybuilders here. It's really important to show people that there are big, strong men with huge muscles that are vegan. Does he look like he's suffering from protein deficiency? Just look.
People think you have to drink milk, you have to eat meat in order to get the balanced diet, and you don't.
I'm a vegan, yep. Since the beginning of the year. Lose weight, you know, I feel great.
I've made a lifestyle decision 20 years ago. I've kept about 120 pounds off.
I have a bad stomach, and I noticed with vegan, I feel so much better.
I went completely vegan, a clean sweep. I have energy, and I don't ever feel bloated after I eat. I just feel better.
Let everybody know that you can look like this when you get 55 because you cut that meat shit out.
I think we're surprising quite a few people that think that vegans just eat quinoa and kale and like really healthy rabbit food.
Burgers are up!
Hot off the griddle, just for you. And we are giving away what is called the Impossible Burger, which is an amazing plant-based burger that tastes really, really meaty. It has 0 cholesterol.
I feel like it's a real burger.
Yeah, it tastes like a meaty burger.
You have another one?
Come on, Dad, try it, try it.
You're gonna have like a hot dog someplace. Lobster sandwich.
Try it first.
Sometimes it's hard to get people to take that first bite.
I'd rather get a lobotomy, to be honest with you.
But I'm persistent with those kinds of people. As soon as they take that bite and they taste it and they go, those reactions are priceless.
If it all tastes like this, I'd be vegan today.
That opens a little door. I think the human race is evolving to be more conscious of their choices that they make, whether it's what they buy or what they drive or what they eat.
There are no real healthy choices at races, and there needs to be for people like me who are diabetic.
I had 2 heart attacks. Cut out meat, eating veggies. I lost 138 pounds, so now I feel good. I have energy, man.
I mean, face it, we're a meat and potato sport. I mean, we're just, you know, and with some cheese on the side. So I think bringing it into the midway, bringing it to the racetrack, I think that it can fit into the NASCAR culture and the culture as a whole.
Food is essentially fuel. I wouldn't put bad fuel, dirty fuel in my race car, just like I wouldn't put dirty fuel in my body. Go vegan. Hey, so we had an amazing success with the Vegan Strong car. We actually started out by running a vegan powered car in 2017, and we used the car to talk about all the reasons to be vegan, environmental reasons, also your health, animal rights, world hunger. And then we had a marketing company do quite a bit of research for us in between my 2017 and 2018 race car campaign. And what the data showed was that overwhelmingly people that are either vegetarian and were looking to convert to vegan, or meat eaters looking to convert them to vegans, the number one reason why they would actually make the switch initially was based on health. So for me, you know, I went vegan for animals and the planet back in 2011, and that is what I always talked about. After I saw the data from the marketing company, I kind of had to relearn what to talk about. And I started to incorporate health into my messaging. And we changed the race car over to be the Vegan Strong car for 2018. And we gave away over 30,000 vegan cheeseburgers to race fans. It was incredibly well received. I had several race fans, you know, contact me after and say that they've stayed vegan since going through the tent. So one of the things that I want us all to remember, because I think most of us on this call are already vegan, is that it's very important for us to go out and talk to the people that don't agree with us. And that's how you create change, and that's how you move the needle in the right direction. Because if we just, you know, talk to people that already agree with us and are already vegan and are already on our side, we're not going to be able to shift that needle. And it can be kind of discouraging. I think all activists, you know, environmental, animal rights activists, Black Lives Matter activists, we all can get discouraged by a lot of the horrible news we're seeing. And one of the things that I always keep in mind when I get discouraged is there was a study done by scientists to see if there's a tipping point for ideas. And what they actually found is that if just 10% of a population has an unwavering belief in an idea, it is actually inevitable for the rest of the majority of that society to accept that idea. And so to me, 10% sounds like a very attainable number. And I think we're really on our way there if we haven't reached it already. One of the scientists that worked on that study said that he would watch the idea kind of struggle, and it took very long time for it to get, you know, from 1% to that 10%, but that the second that it hit that 10% tipping point, it would spread like a wildfire through the community. So keep that in mind on the days that you get discouraged, and go out there and think outside the box, and make sure that you spend a lot of your time not preaching to the choir. And that's why I did the vegan car and racing, because I knew I was going to be speaking to so many people that just eat meat. And we were actually really shocked. You saw in the video how many race fans came up to my vegan tent and said, I've already been vegan for X number of years, and were sharing their story. So we were even surprised by how much the vegan movement has already combined with the racing world. And that's all I wanted to say. Thank you so much. It was such an honor to be here with all of you today.
Thank you. Thank you, Leilani. I love that point about talking to people who don't agree with us. That's one of the best ways. Most people who I know went vegan, they were anti-vegan, my parents specifically. So totally agree with that. Next, get ready to flex and move your body, maybe stretch a little bit, because right now, coming up next, we have a vegan fitness and flex contest with Torre Washington. Yes, you all have probably heard of him from all over social media. He is an NASM certified coach, an IFBB pro, who advocates for veganism and his global fan base, and brings light to the plight of animals. He also speaks out on the need to heal Mother Earth through living a more plant-based lifestyle, and vegan as well. Let's meet Torre Washington and the Vegan Strong team.
What's going on, everybody? What's going on, everybody? How you guys doing out there? This is Torre Washington, and thank you so much, Nard, for having me. I really appreciate it. You know, I'm here down in Miami. It's beautiful. We're still loving the sun, getting my vitamin D, working out outside, and just enjoying life as we can. So I don't want to get started. So real quick, I just want to talk about, as you mentioned, thank you so much again for that beautiful introduction. I really appreciate it. Bodybuilding, veganism, fitness, how does it all work together? Two things. When it comes to being vegan, you know, we look at vegan as being the way to improve our quality of life, the quality of life for humanity, the quality of life for the planet, and for the animals as well. Secondly, how does bodybuilding and fitness work in that? Now we've known, or a lot of research has gone in to show that bodybuilding, fitness, all has a way to help us have a better quality of life as well. And so we need to incorporate those two things. I started being vegan since 1998, started bodybuilding and competing as a fitness enthusiast, as a bodybuilder in 2009. And ever since then, I've just been addicted to that, training, building the physique, and being a vegan as well. But we got to get on to this flex. I know you guys are ready to flex. I want to introduce the Vegan Strong team, but I'm going to let them introduce themselves for you. Go ahead, guys. I know you're there.
Hey, Tori, this is Robert Cheeke. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yo, yo. Hey, what's up, Vanessa? Hey. Who else? We got
I'm
Ryan.
chiming in too right now. How's everyone doing?
All right.
That's Will Tucker. I see you.
Oh, hey, what's up? It's Will Tucker, America's Vegan Trainer. What's up, Tori? Good to see you, man.
Good. What's up? Good. Who else we got out there? I saw Vanessa. I saw Robert.
I like that shirt, Vanessa.
Yeah, repping my boy, you know.
Hey, I want to give a quick shout out to Leilani too. You know, it was Leilani's Vegan Strong race car that started this whole Vegan Strong fitness movement that we're part of now. So without Leilani and that leadership and what she did to kick that off at the NASCAR scene, we wouldn't have a Vegan Strong fitness team that now goes out and travels to the largest fitness expos in the country and promotes the Vegan Strong lifestyle. So I want to thank Leilani personally for that, because all of us here are part of that Vegan Strong community, and that started with Leilani. So Leilani, thank you. We're grateful. And Tori, thank you for hosting today, and thank you for your leadership in this vegan bodybuilding movement. Always appreciate seeing you, good sir.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you very much, man. It's always good to see you as well. Always good. So next we're gonna get going. We're gonna get started with, oh, there we go. Who's this guy?
You got me on now?
There he is.
There we go. You guys got me on right now?
I think we can see you a little bit, Ryan. Okay, can you hear us?
Yeah, we
Ryan,
can see everyone. We can see everyone. So if y'all want to start the flex contest, go ahead. Everyone is excited and ready to move their body.
All right, so when it comes to building muscle, a lot of you know, first and foremost, a lot of people tell you that being a vegan, you can't build muscle. And with all this strongness going on these cameras right now, I'm sure we all can't fit in there because of all of this muscle. So what I want to get started is to have all of you guys give me your best flex, and we're gonna pick the winner of all of us. So go ahead, I want you to MC to start. Make your flex. Let me see yours. Yeah. There you go. There you go. And everybody needs to pick their own.
Let me see.
Wow. Big flexes from Vegan Evan.
Oh yeah.
One.
Vegan Evan and friends.
Flexing. Why don't you?
Oh, there they are.
Why don't you guys call out some of our winners?
Kat. I see Kat getting that double biceps over there. Kat P. There you go. Nice.
Jane,
Vegan Ian and Evan looking good. All right.
I see you.
All right. Great job, Patricia.
Evan, I see you, Evan.
Wow. You guys are really flexing it. So my Vegan Strong team, why don't you guys pick a winner out of all the people watching?
Okay.
I got Kat with the front double biceps. Kat Peardon, is that right? Yeah, she's clapping, she's cheering. I got Kat.
Let me see. Come on now, let's see him. Let's see him.
Oh, good job, Gabriella.
Oh, yeah, I'm kind of feeling Gabrielle there.
I'm gonna have to go with Vegan Evan and Ian.
I'm with Ryan Nelson.
Yeah, me too. It's a dead heat, dead tie.
Uh-oh.
Well, there you have it, guys. I think we found it.
We got a winner.
We have a bunch of different winners.
Yeah, like pretty much everybody's a winner.
Oh, yeah.
As long as you're vegan.
Definitely. And we will get prizes of the winners for our flex contest today.
One more time, flex it for us, guys.
Yeah, everyone.
Yeah, one more time. Let's do an encore.
Damn.
Robert, why don't you show us?
That's a lot of vegan muscle.
Woo! Thank you, guys. That's awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Vegan Strong Team. So do y'all have any final words as we say goodbye?
Yeah, so I'll start off real quick. Just want to say thank you guys so much for having us on, having me on, having the Vegan Strong Team on as well. And I want to say that we live in a world now where a lot of changes are being made. And hopefully one day we don't even have to use the term vegan because it's just be the way that it is. So I'm looking forward to that day.
Great. And is there somewhere we can follow the Vegan Strong Team online or social media as well?
Yeah, we are, this is Robert Cheeke. We are veganstrong.com. We've even got a button right at the top. Ask us any question. You know, if you have a question about building muscle on a plant-based diet, some of us have been doing it for decades. And so you go to veganstrong.com, again, inspired by Leilani and the NASCAR circuit, which then spilled over into the fitness scene. And we've got everyone from Sergeant Vegan on here to Ryan Nelson and Vanessa Espinoza and Will Tucker and Torre Washington and so many others who are part of Vegan Strong. And what our message is basically is that plants have all the protein you need. And if we can break down that barrier and let people know that, listen, you don't have to worry about where you're going to get your protein. As long as you get enough calories from a variety of foods, you are going to meet your protein requirements. In fact, most people consume much more protein than they need. But we're talking about plant-based protein without cholesterol that's filled with antioxidants and vitamins and minerals and fiber. And that's our message, is that plants have all the protein you need. So please check us out on veganstrong.com and give us your best flex.
I love it. And then Torre, why don't you finish us off by giving everyone your social media handles and exactly where we can find you.
You can find me, thank you so much. You can find me at torrewashington.com. That's my website. On Instagram is torre.washington and Twitter is the same. My YouTube is the same as well. I actually had a question real quick about what got me started as being vegan. So I decided I'm gonna go ahead and create a video on YouTube so people can see that, because I get that question pretty often. Since, like Robert said, some of us have been doing it for decades, over 20 years being vegan, and we're still putting on muscle. There's a lot that we can say to those who are just switching over or who've only been doing it for 2-3 years. So there you can find me. And thank you guys again so much. I appreciate it. I'm glad all you guys are flexing. It was good to see it all.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Again, the Vegan Strong Team and Torre Washington. We are so excited to see you all flex your vegan muscles. Next,
thank you,
coming up, yes, thank you so much. Next, y'all, we have coming up The Power of Love. This is a speech by Milo Runkle. Milo is an author and animal rights welfare activist, founder, former president of board chair of Mercy of Animals, the world's largest organization dedicated to protecting farm animals and promoting plant-based eating. His work has helped pass legislation, raise public awareness about veganism, and implement animal welfare policy changes. Time to hear from Milo Runkle.
It's an honor to be here with everyone. George Floyd, a name, a life, and a murder that has awoken a nation to the lingering inequality and systemic racism faced by so many Black Americans. We stand in solidarity with the Black Lives Movements. And as allies. This is a time for us to listen and to take action. And behind the palpable anger and grief and sadness that has fueled this powerful and needed moment of collective consciousness raising is love. Love of life, love for each other, love for freedom and possibility. And love is what brings us all here. Yes, we are against cruelty and violence and exploitation, but those are merely actions of fear and disconnect, love unrealized. We are here as advocates for kindness and for compassion. Growing up on a small farm in Ohio, my mother Joyce taught me at a young age that animals were to be both respected and loved, that they too had a consciousness, that someone, not something, was looking back at us from those eyes. Regardless of the physical form we come in, regardless of whether we are covered with fur, feathers, or scales, regardless of whether we walk on 2 legs or 4, if we swim or fly, if we talk or squawk, we are all part of the same whole, the same unifying consciousness, something that John spoke so beautifully about. And today, International Animal Rights Day, we give gratitude and appreciation to animals for their presence, for their honesty. And if we are willing to watch and listen, they can teach us so much. They can teach us about healing from trauma, trusting again, and the courage it takes to express love when we've only received cruelty. Webster Dictionary defines love in many ways, but one is the unselfish and benevolent concern for the good of another. And this is something that animals express on a daily basis, including animals who are condemned to life inside of factory farms. I'm reminded of a story relayed by James, a former Mercy for Animals investigator who worked at a pig factory farm in Pennsylvania. One morning when he arrived to the factory farm, he swung open the shed door, stepped inside, and saw a sea of metal crates, farrowing crates confining mother pigs and their babies. But out of the corner of James's eye, he saw one mother pig wandering around in the aisles, experiencing a moment of freedom. Trailed behind her were her baby piglets. The workers put this mother sow back into her crate and locked it behind her. The next morning when James arrived, this same mother sow, using her intellect and her curiosity, but also her drive for freedom, used her tongue and used her snout to once again free herself by lifting the bar of her cage. But this time, she wasn't alone. She had gone around and unhinged the cage door, confining dozens of other mother pigs and their babies. This to me is such a beautiful, poetic, powerful story of animals expressing love, benevolent concern for others, even in the dark corners of factory farms. Acts of kindness benefit the giver as much as the receiver. We are born with an innate sense of altruism. And this is why it feels good to do good, why we find comfort and love, why we seek peace and joy, and why we are pulled towards fairness and justice. Martin Luther King Jr. once said that darkness cannot drive out darkness, only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate, only love can do that. And make no mistake, love is not passive. It is a verb, it is a muscle that must be flexed and strengthened. And it is our generations that are being called to action. We all find ourselves here at this same moment in our planet's evolution of consciousness raising, that we are called for a purpose to move the needle forward, to see more clearly, to replace domination with compassion, greed with generosity, and ego with gratitude. If we work together, we will see an end to animal exploitation in all of its forms. We will heal our planet, and we will extend our ethical circle to our fellow creatures. This is our collective challenge. Let's meet it. Thank you.
Thank you, Milo. I think we can all agree that we are all guided by love as we go as vegans, as animal activists throughout this entire world. So the next thing we have coming up, my loves, is a fake fashion show with Jonathan Yoni Ohayon. He is a fashion designer, animal rights entrepreneur, and founder of the Fake Movement, which is fashion for animal kingdom and the environment. Here is Jonathan Yoni Ohayon and his Fake Fashion Show.
Hi, thank you. Can you hear me? Yes, everything all good? Okay. So yeah, thank you so much, Gabrielle, and thank you, Elam, and all the nerds. I'm really amazed actually, because we're doing event every week, virtual event, and I know how complicated it is, and it's so professional, so beautiful. So thank you for everything you guys do. I did a small, I wrote a little something to try to keep it short, so I'm just gonna read it to you. So the fashion industry is one of the largest polluters in the world, but don't worry, I won't try to impress you with a long list of massive numbers. I will go straight to the point and talk about sustainability, the most used word in fashion nowadays, but the least understood. Too many brands are using this word to avoid talking about cruelty and transparency. Sustainability is made of 3 pillars: economic, social, and environment. Many studies, such as the Pulse of the fashion industry, prove that the production of animal products are the one with the worst impact on the environment. The workers' condition and the economy of the country producing animal products in fashion are dropping due to their land and water infected with all the chemicals they use. Animals are not products. This means that a vegan alternative will always be more sustainable and ethical than any animal product. Don't ever be afraid to speak up for the voiceless. Speciesism has to end. It is the roots of all the discrimination in this world. At Fake, we create conversation and debate to always involve in a more ethical world. And this is why, thanks to the National Animal Rights Day, we present to you today a unique virtual fashion show, virtual vegan fashion show. A world without cruelty is possible for the animal, the human, and the environment. All the models you'll see during this homemade runway are animal rights advocates. All the clothes they are wearing are animal-free, ethically made, and second-hand. The fashion industry is living a big change. Everybody can be a designer. The consumer are the one voting with their money. They are the fashion designer of tomorrow. You are the fashion designer of tomorrow. This is why, to me, the fashion designers that are pushing the boundaries the most, and by the way, that are the coolest as well, are the animal rights activists that are always choosing love and compassion in their clothes. Veganism is not a trend, it is a revolution. Thank you. Yeah, you can, okay.
Imagine there's no heaven. It's easy if you try.
Wonderful. I could definitely say that was a fierce fashion show, if I might not say so myself. I loved seeing all the different races, genders, different people promoting veganism. So I think that's really important. I think that's beautiful as well. Next, we're going to be moving on to some more music by Inanna. This music project is entirely dedicated to nature, animals, and the future of humanity. Annalisa creates her credits the NARD and other events in Los Angeles in a more actively involving her in the animal rights movement this year. And now some music from Inanna.
Hi everyone, my name is Inanna. This is a medley of 2 songs. The first one is about a future where all animals are free and all cities are green. And the second one is about the power of collective healing. My invisible city has the colors of nature. It almost fades together with its light. In my invisible city, the functional is beautiful. The animals are plentiful. The neighbors exchange the fruits of the earth. It's an invisible city, as it's only on my mind. But if you look long enough, it'll spring from the wild. It's a green dream, a city in between the depths of the woods, human traces shining through New York chaos. It's so technological, we're all welcome, and where beauty cures it all.
Have another.
Unbearable lightness of fading. You're grooving softer than this heaviness of elements. When you own it, you yell it, then you let it out. When you own it, you shape it, then you let it out. You let it out. So we heal. Together we stand and we rise and see shaking souls that you are healing us, the stars in the ground Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much for those beautiful songs. Next, coming up, we have Cultivating Self-Compassion, a speech from Pierre, who is a nutrition and fitness consultant, trainer, and hardcore athlete. He trains Hollywood celebrities, rock stars, Fortune 500 executives, and he has also the distinct honor of being inducted in the North American Vegetarian Society Hall of Fame. Let's hear from Pierre.
Thank you everybody. It's a pleasure to be here, and what great performances we've seen. And thank you to all the activists who are here. I've been teaching vegan nutrition and fitness for over 35 years. And I've worked with a lot of different clients, and my favorite clients to work with are activists because they're doing such amazing work. The challenge with activists is many times they don't cultivate that self-love and compassion for themselves. They extend it to every other being, but they don't extend it to themselves. And many of us are familiar with the term ahimsa, which really means reverence for all life and all beings. Well, it's important for activists to know that we're also part of that spectrum. So we also deserve love and care too. And activists can only do good in the world if they're healthy and fit, because when you're young, you can take a lot of abuse in terms of no sleep and not eating properly and using drugs and things. But as you get older, that catches up to you. So if you want to be an effective activist as you age, it's important that you do some self-care. So I want to just go over some important components that I've seen working with young activists and older activists, what happens. First of all, it's so important from a self-care standpoint that we make sure that from a diet, we're eating a whole foods, plant-based diet. We can include some processed foods, but we really need to focus on whole foods and fresh foods. So lots of fresh fruits and vegetables, nuts and seeds, whole grains, beans, peas, and lentils. The easiest thing for activists to do is to just make a smoothie every morning. If you're using some organic berries and a non-dairy milk, and then some vegetables in there, and maybe some chia or flaxseed, that's an easy way that in the morning you can check that off, that you've got a good serving of fruits and vegetables and nuts and seeds in for the day. And if you could just eat one large salad a day that looks like a rainbow.
I have a tip for that.
Fresh fruits and vegetables.
You can actually just use regular olive oil and it works great.
If you want to, I would avoid doing your very best to avoid putting in, sugar-laden drinks or juices or any sort of oil in there. If you could just use whole foods like whole nuts or seeds, not necessarily adding flax oil or olive oil, because that's refined. So when you take an olive and you squeeze it, you're getting out the fat, but you're leaving phytochemicals behind and you're leaving all the fiber. So let's try to leave in whole foods in that smoothie. And you can do 1 to 2 smoothies a day if you want, or you could do a smoothie and you can do a blended soup then, which is just blended greens and a liquid. You could use coconut milk or something like that. But you need to be condensing massive amounts of fruits and vegetables in your diet because those are protective. If you think of your brain as being assaulted all day long by free radicals, the antioxidants are the bodyguards that protect that tissue from prematurely aging. Now, from a dietary standpoint, it's important that activists get enough sleep. We know that there's a part of the brain system called the glymphatic system, which is similar to the lymphatic system. But when you go to sleep at night, those neurons shrink almost 50%, and it leaves more space in between those neurons. And that cerebral spinal fluid that your brain is floating in, like a hose, washes out that space. And that's where beta amyloid plaque builds up, which is linked to Alzheimer's disease. Now, many activists don't get enough sleep. So it's important that you do good sleep hygiene and you try your very best to get 7 hours of sleep or maybe a little bit more. The more you exercise, the more stressed you are, the more sleep you need. But you don't want to be the activist that burns the candle at both ends and isn't getting adequate sleep because it's very detrimental to your brain and you don't get enough rest and recovery. Make sure you're getting enough movement in throughout the day. You don't have to work out per se, but you need to get some sort of aerobic activity in. There's something called brain-derived neurotrophic factor that's secreted from the brain, and it's like miracle grow for the brain that allows the brain to grow, the neurons, the cells, and to communicate. And that's activated when you're doing some sort of aerobic activity. So aim for 15 to 20 minutes of some sort of aerobic activity. Do some sort of strength training, whether it's body weight or exercise bands or weights, to keep strong and fit, because osteoporosis you think is an old person's disease, but osteopenia isn't. And osteopenia is the precursor to osteoporosis. And we don't know when you have osteopenia unless you're getting like a DEXA scan. And so if you're eating a lot of processed foods and you're sitting down and you're being an armchair activist, that's wonderful that you're an activist, but you need to get some physical activity for your bones. Exercise is also important for the immune system. So the more that you move, the more you move lymphatic fluid throughout the blood vessel or the lymph vessels. And that's kind of like the body's immune system, the paramedics, the police department. So get some movement in every day and be very careful about your mental attitude. You know, we are always watching social media, we're listening to the news, and that's programming your brain 24 hours a day. And most of it is negative, it's sensationalized, and it's there to induce a reaction. And you get a dopamine blast from that. and you can actually become addicted to it. So be very careful about the energies that you're allowing into your fertile garden, because those are like seeds. They get planted and they start to grow. Use words that are kind, use words that are loving. Get rid of the words, the H-A-T-E. You know, I don't even want to say the word, so I spell it out. You don't need those words in your life. You don't need anything negative. We're working in a career or a field that we're exposed to that 24 hours a day. So when we're around people, we should be having words of love and compassion. And at the end of the night, it's important that you take time for yourself and remind yourself that you deserve love and care just like the animals on the planet, and you need to start giving that to yourself. My motto has always been think good thoughts and do good deeds. So it's not enough to just think the thoughts, then you have to do good deeds. And as Mother Teresa said, the smallest deed done is far greater than the largest intention. So even if you're going on Craigslist that night and you're flagging the breeders, and once they get 3 flags, they're done. Fantastic, that might be all you can do. Or if you have money, you can donate money. Or you can take pamphlets. When I fly, I just take pamphlets with me and I leave them in where I'm sitting at the airport, or if I'm going to be in an Uber or whatever. That's armchair activism. That's a way to do activism that doesn't cause a lot of stress. So don't beat yourself up over it. Just try to constantly become a beacon of light and love and do good. Just remember the most important thing is that ahimsa, compassion and reverence for all beings, includes you. So just like you go rescue other animals and help people, you have to have that rescue and that love for yourself. So thank you very much for letting me be here. We'll post some contact information if you want. I have some different videos and things you can watch. And then the organization that I co-founded is livingwithharmony.org. And you can check out our site. You can download our free planet-based living guideline. So thanks for having me.
Thank you, John. Thank you for those words. Thank you so much for just speaking truth into all of our spirits and souls. All right, so we have something very exciting. We have about 20 minutes left in our program today. And the next thing coming up is the Wilson Weaver Award for the Animal Rights Activist of the Year. This is going to be hosted by none other than Genesis Butler. She is a 13-year-old animal rights activist and climate activist who has already earned numerous awards in her activism, including being featured on Marvel's Hero Project on Disney+. Genesis is currently leading the Youth Climate Save movement. Let's go over right now to Genesis.
Hi everyone, I'm Genesis. I'm 13 years old and I am a vegan animal rights activist, and I've been an activist for 7 years and a vegan. And I'm the lead organizer for Youth Climate Save, which is a climate movement that focuses on animal agriculture and the destruction it's doing to the planet. And today I have the honor of giving out the Wilson Weaver Award for Animal Rights Activist of the Year. So the first person that I have the honor of giving this award to is Rain Diane. And Rain is an incredible activist. She has devoted her life to the animals, taking every single opportunity she has to advocate for them. Her activism started over 30 years ago with St. Louis Animal Rights Team, and she continues today with street activism, outreach, and colleges, and mentoring new vegans. Rain is one of the founders for NARD Seattle. Congratulations on your award, Rain. The next person that will be getting this award is Lama Lubu Jamchuk. Lama turned vegan 3 years back, and since then has been a solid support for Dharamshala vegan movement. Being a vegan monk activist, he empowered and encouraged everyone who believes in teaching of Buddha to show loving and compassion for our animal brothers and sisters. Congratulations on your award. The next person is Nancy Sai. Nancy is a vegan Jiva Mukti yoga teacher and the founder of a local vegan group, and has been vegan for over 10 years. She holds educational talks about veganism and has also appeared on national TV to promote it. She's active in street activism and as well as devotes her time to further cause of the animal rights movement. Congratulations on your award. And the last person is Raya O'Neill. Raya campaigns hard against animal oppression and cruelty and challenges companies who claim to be vegan but have sold out to non-vegan giants. rights. She has infiltrated pig farms on 2 occasions and a chicken facility. And a highlight of the plight on her animal activism, animals on factory farms. She is a regular SAB with Cheshire SABs and volunteers at Whitegate Animal Sanctuary. Congratulations on your award. Those are all the awards that I have to give out. And to all the activists out there, your activism doesn't go unrecognized. So keep on fighting for the animals, because animal liberation will happen soon.
Thank you so much, Genesis. Thank you for your words. And it's so incredible to see someone so young doing something so incredible. Truly powerful for all of us. Next, we have another song. It's called Chorus Teens. It's a song by Alex Buck, who is from the vegan punk band Bad Jesus. He's an animal rights activist and musician who creates his dog Body for helping him go vegan and get sober after a decade of alcohol abuse. Here we go with Alex Buck.
Hey everyone, what's up? Genesis, you're a rock star. Keep it up. So, yeah, my name's Alex. I'm from Los Angeles. I grew up just north of here in a town called Santa Clarita. And, yeah, I actually was introduced to a plant-based lifestyle by a few friends of mine when I was younger, around the age of 16. And I've always had a strong pull towards animal rights, and I spent the majority of my teens plant-based. And then towards my early 20s, I started really battling with a heavy alcohol addiction, and I kind of stopped having such a grip on my morality. And it wasn't until this guy right here, I don't know if you can see him, came in to the picture, but he, come here. He just opened my eyes. Having him around, I started to really carry the weight of the hypocrisy, and I decided to go plant-based again. And it was after going plant-based that I was finally able to start thinking selflessly enough to actually get sober. And I got sober from drugs and alcohol. I've been sober ever since. I've been vegan ever since. And you know, it's just the feeling firsthand the power of what the empathy of a vegan lifestyle does for a person. I've devoted most of my time to trying to help other people feel that same power. And yeah, it's such an amazing thing. And seeing all these activists and everything that's going on in the last week, I've never seen so many people mobile for equality. And it's just, I feel so much hope right now for humanity, seeing everything that's going on in all movements of equality. And it's just a beautiful thing. So, yeah, that being said, I'm going to play a song for you guys, and here we go. Forecast on red, better on the other side. You get what you wanted. Well, someone let me off this ride. 14 days in, kinda worried I'm not losing my mind. Maybe you've seen it, but you look around your room to find. Now we got nothing but time. Maybe after all I need is 2 6
for every night down in the jungle. Well, maybe she could cure this time. She gets what she wanted. Kinda worried for the back of her mind. I know 'cause I've seen it. And now she's got nothing but time. Nothing but time. All we wanted was time. Now we got nothing but time. All we wanted was time. Now we got nothing but time. All we wanted was time. Now we got nothing but time. Maybe after all I need is you 6 feet away from me. Baby, I'll try not to breathe. Promise you will keep infecting me. Maybe after all I need is this 5 feet equality. Baby, I'll try not to breathe. Promise you will keep infecting me.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Alex, for your story and for your music as well. It's very inspiring. Next, I am sure listening to all these people, flexing your muscles, everything has worked up an appetite. So you're in luck because we have 2 celebrity vegan chefs who are going to come on here and do some demos for us. First, we have the vegan black metal chef. He's going to show us how to dress up any vegan meal. Brian Manowitz, it combines his passion for vegan cooking and making metal music to create an awesomely unlikely combination that is informative, hilarious, and enlightening. He also has a cookbook, a website, and of course, a YouTube channel where you can watch his videos where he introduces people to bring consciousness to their lives and to all actions. We also have Girija, who teaches us how to create a delicious vegan Indian dish. She is a vegan and animal rights activist from India who uses her voice to bring awareness and fight the justice for the voiceless. Let's start off with the black metal chef and then get cooking.
Greetings, NARDX. Thank you so much for having me. I am Brian Manowitz, also known as the Vegan Black Metal Chef. And in the next couple minutes, I hope to change your life. So today, we're going to learn how to make what I consider the best vegan ranch dressing in existence. And all it takes is some vegan mayonnaise and some spices. So, of course, vegan mayonnaise, we are now blessed as vegans to enjoy the pleasures of whipped fat. So let's get to it. I'm going to adjust the camera. All we're going to do is take 2 scoops of vegan mayonnaise. Doesn't matter exactly how much. Then we're going to take some onion powder. Get in some onion powder. Some garlic powder. Some onion flakes or minced onion. Again, the quantity is not really important. Just get it in there and make it look spicy. There's a huge range of what is right. Put in some dill weed. Some parsley flakes. How much on the dill and parsley? Just make it so that there's green specks in there. Doesn't really matter. Some regular black pepper. A little bit of salt. And just enough regular white vinegar to make it a little bit liquidy. Just a little bit. That's enough. And we're going to mix it all together. And there you have it. Super easy. It's ready to go with your buffalo seitan bites or any kind of raw vegetable. And of course, everything that you saw here, super cheap, not very difficult to make. If you want to learn how to make the buffalo seitan bites, and if you want a reminder on everything with vegan ranch dressing, just look up Vegan Black Metal Chef, episode 10, buffalo seitan bites, or Google anything even sort of like that and you find it. Perfect, everyone. Enjoy.
Thank you so much. Next to Girija.
Namaste. I hope I'm audible.
We can hear you. We can hear you. We can see you. You're doing great.
Hello, everyone. Namaste. So I'm so excited today to welcome you to my Indian vegan kitchen. So the dish today I'm going to show you is called tofu tikka kathi roll, or a wrap. You can call it a wrap. So let me quickly show you the ingredients first. So I'm going to be using tofu, soy curd, some few veggies. You can take any veggies of your choice. And the spices, for spices, we are taking red chili powder, ginger powder, garlic powder, cumin seeds, couple of tablespoons of chickpea flour, and this is called fenugreek dried leaves, which is also called kasuri methi. So what we'll have to do is we just add all the spices to the curd, and then just throw in all the veggies and tofu and let it rest in the refrigerator for up to 3 hours maybe. And after that, just take it out. You can either cook it on such tandoori sticks, or you can just take your pan and cook the tofu and the veggies on a non-stick pan. So this is what you get after cooking the tofu and the veggies. So let me just quickly plate it for you. So to put it together, I've taken this tortillas. You can take any tortillas you like. I am taking lachha paratha here. So for this, I have made this dressing. This is just vegan mayonnaise and chili sauce. It's just that. So let me just spread it over this tortilla like that. And after this, the tofu tikkas which we have made, just place it over the tortilla like this. And I have got few onion slices. So put the onion slices on the wrap like this. And over this, you can use any kind of seasoning. I'm using chaat masala. You can use any kind of seasoning you like, or just add some lemon juice. So I'm going to sprinkle some chaat masala, and let's wrap it. This is the tofu tikka kathi roll, or a wrap. It is a very popular street food in India. Now let me just cut it like this. Now all we do is just serve it on the plate. Okay, that was quick. So I have the dish is ready already. I have served it with some lemon slices and sliced onions, and any dip you like. I've taken coriander chutney. You can use any dip you like, and I'm sure you're going to give it a try. It is really very delicious. Do try it, guys. Thank you so much for having me here.
Thank you. That looks so delicious. All that flavor, all that seasoning, all that spice. I may have to make that right after we get off this call. Thank you again so much to our chefs. Next, we're going to be moving on to one of our final events of the day. It is going to be a conflict resolution workshop with Dave Rubin. So we know things can get a little intense when you're out there advocating for animal rights. So our next speaker is a leader in Los Angeles in the vegan community and has supported the NARD movement, and he's been a part of NARD leadership for the last few years as a leadership trainer, coach, consultant, and mediator. He has led leadership workshops for more than 10 years, receiving leadership training in Envision Global Leadership, and has expertise in developing emotional intelligence in Marshall Rosenberg's communication system, known as nonviolent communication. Today, David will speak to us about resolving conflict and influencing others. Please give me a warm welcome to David Rubin.
Hello. Thank you, Gabrielle, for the introduction. It's a cat. It's a cat. A few years ago, I had a discussion with a friend of mine who also identifies as an ethical vegan on the topic of whether our vegan values are best served by feeding a cat animal flesh or plant foods. I expressed my perspective that feeding one animal to another requires making a judgment as to which life has greater value, and that making such judgments may not align with our vegan values for compassion for all beings. I attempted to express this a number of different ways, and each time I did, my friend simply said, "It's a cat." I believe the implication was that we ought to feed the cat meat that is natural for her to eat. We both repeated ourselves multiple times, and we each became more agitated and frustrated as we continued until we finally took a break. So what was going on? Why did we keep repeating ourselves? Why did we end up getting so agitated and frustrated? I think the answer to this touches upon an epidemic in our culture that leads to a great deal of conflict and pain. I believe understanding the epidemic and the cure will allow us to not only resolve conflicts, but also to be much more effective at influencing others. We were not hearing each other. We have an epidemic of not listening, or at least the kind of listening that allows for peace and deeper connection. When we humans have something to express, it is difficult to focus on anything else, and it is especially difficult to hear someone else. This is particularly true in situations of conflict or when discussing a topic that we are passionate about. In these situations, many more needs tend to come up for us besides wanting to be heard, potentially leading to an overwhelming emotional response. As our emotional brain becomes more activated, our ability to connect with and hear the other person becomes more limited, leading to deeper conflict. In a moment, I will suggest how we can use this understanding to de-escalate conflict and debate issues in a way in which both parties hear each other. But first, let's consider why this is important. First, to be effective as activists, we need to work together. We can collaborate more effectively if we have the tools and awareness we need to de-escalate and resolve conflict. Second, we can be more effective activists if we can be more effective at influencing others. When people truly hear our perspective, they are more likely to change their opinions or lifestyle choices. So what can we do about it? Well, I think the first step we're already taking, but which is to become aware of the phenomena. Next, we can set our intention to use the following 5-part process when we find ourselves in the midst of a conflict or controversial discussion. 1, notice when this dynamic is happening. 2, refocus your attention onto what the other person is saying, or take a break if you are too stimulated to do this. 3, let the other party talk while you listen. Connect and become curious. Make it clear you are hearing what the other person has to say. You can do this by reflecting back when you hear what when you reflect back by hearing what the other person You can do this by reflecting back what you heard the other person say, by saying yes or I get it when you have a sense that you're really connected with what the other person is expressing, or by asking questions that come from genuine curiosity. 4th, when you sense the other person's need to be heard is well met, and he or she is able to be present for what you have to say, share your perspective. Consider asking permission first. For example, would you like to hear my thoughts on the matter? Lastly, make a request. Once you heard what the other person is needing and shared your perspective about what is going on inside you, ask for something that you think might address both of your needs. To show you are making a request, use a phrase like, would you be willing to? And when making a request, be ready to accept a yes or a no. A PDF file with the 5-part process that goes a little deeper than what I just shared is, I think, being posted in the chat as I speak, or was just posted recently. And in case you're interested in delving more deeply into this topic, or if you would like to learn about other ways to become a more effective activist, communicator, collaborator, inspirational, compassionate leader, please subscribe to my new YouTube channel. I haven't posted anything there yet, and if you subscribe, I'd really appreciate the support and getting a good start, and you'll be notified when I post my first video in about 2 weeks. I think a link is also being posted in the chat and will also be posted on the Facebook event page. I'm grateful to you all for the chance to share with you what I had to share today. Grateful to Elam and all the organizers, grateful to all the speakers and singers and everyone who just tuned in to watch, everyone who has made this event possible, and for everything you do to make a more compassionate world. Thank you again.
And thank you so much. Those words are just so needed, and that kind of conflict resolution is so necessary during these times. So we're about to finish off everything. And like he said, my name is Gabrielle Reyes, AKA One Great Vegan. You can find me on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, wherever. And we're gonna finish off NAR today with Jane Elizabeth, who is an author. She is an athlete. She is a vegan life coach, a musician, and who also has a passion for showing the world how powerful it is to live a compassionate, cruelty-free life. Let's finish off this beautiful day of recognition and celebration with Jane Elizabeth.
Thank you so much, Gabrielle. This has been such an incredible event. So thank you so much, everybody, for joining us for this one-of-a-kind global online animal rights event. We appreciate each and every one of you spending part of your day with us today. So performers, speakers, leaders in the animal rights movement, thank you does not even come close to expressing how much your time and dedication means to all of us. Thank you to all of you for showing up for the animals, being their voice, and honoring the ones we could not save. What started as one person in one city who wanted to make a difference turned into a global animal rights movement, reaching 72 cities. This is what we can do when we really want to make our voices heard. So collectively, we are making a difference. Our voices are being heard. If you would like to see your city represented, visit www.thenard.org for information on how to start your own chapter in your city. If you would like to help out our nonprofit so we can continue doing what we're doing, you can donate there as well. As you can imagine, an event of this magnitude takes time, effort, patience, and a lot of hard work. We would like to take this time to recognize all of the city organizers around the world and extend our heartfelt gratitude to each and every one of you. Person by person, city by city, together we are changing the world. Our planet, theirs too. Thank you all so much for being here today. We are going to end today with something incredible that is so easy for all of you to do. So what we're going to do, love you too, you guys. What we're gonna do now is unmute everybody. Everybody's gonna be unmuted. Put yourself on gallery view so that you can see everybody on your screen. We're gonna unmute everybody. Are you ready? And once everybody is unmuted, on the count of 3, we're gonna say, go vegan. And then we're gonna leave it open for you guys to say anything you wanna say. Keep it, keep it a little PC, you guys, no cursing, all right? Okay, so is everybody unmuted? Are we ready?
Vegan.
Look at this, everybody's getting unmuted, I love it. Look at all these beautiful faces. Beautiful vegan faces.
Yeah, thanks, everyone.
Hey, everyone. They're amazing. Oh my
Good to see
God.
you.
Thank you.
I hope I don't.
Getting there.
Awesome. So wonderful.
It's
awesome.
Hello.
Are you guys ready?
Fear that I have. The fear that I have.
All right, you guys. Here we go. On the count of 3, we are going to say, go vegan. Are you ready?
Yes.
2, 3.
Yeah, I think he's self-aware, but I'm not sure. That I mean, he met me and I told him I was sober. So then, like over the next 2 years, because it's been 2 years since we went out the first time. I know, and then we started following. This was our 3rd time to see each other. Stayed in touch over Instagram. And we tried to get together a few times and for different reasons.
Bye, everyone.
Second time we met, it was just coffee. Like we didn't make hang out or anything. It was just friends because I was in New Orleans for the day, and so he met me at a coffee shop.
Hi, everyone.
He's been to AA. He started going to AA for a while, and I'm just like my fear is getting involved with someone who is an alcoholic, who know he's an alcoholic, or who is in early sobriety but doesn't know he's in early sobriety because he's not drinking, but he's not AA. There's a lot. That's kind of a mixed bag, but I didn't get a clear answer from him last night. Like, I'm not going to ask him for a clear answer because I'm fucking business. That was Caesar. Like, are you sober, dude? Do you need to be sober? Are you vegan? Are you going to be vegan? Like, what? You know.
Right. Well, all this is going on. Thank you, everyone.
And then we'll terminate the call. I don't see myself. Okay, everybody, thank you so much. Thank you so much for being with us. It's been a long day. Thank you for staying through all of it. And thank you for fighting for animals. We'll see you all next year out in our public event as usual. Thank you. Bye-bye.